I never liked late trains, but that night I didn't have a choice. The office party ran long, the buses had stopped, and the last train was my only option. The platform was almost empty. Just flickering lights, cold air, and the low mechanical hum of the tracks vibrating in the dark. When the train arrived, only one carriage had its lights on. I stepped inside. There were maybe 3 other people scattered across the seats. A man asleep near the window. A woman staring at her phone. And someone at the far end of the carriage, sitting completely still. The doors closed. The train began to move. At first, everything felt normal. The steady rhythm of metal against rail. The faint announcements distorted by static. I sat near the middle, facing forward, and tried not to think about how quiet it was. Then I noticed something strange. We didn't stop at the first scheduled station. The train slowed slightly, then sped up again. No announcement. No doors opening. I looked at the route map above the door. The lights that usually marked each stop were off. I checked my phone. No signal. The woman across from me looked up at the same moment. Like she had noticed it too. The second station passed. Still no stop. The man who had been sleeping was gone. I didn't see him leave. I hadn't heard the doors open. I turned to look behind me. The person at the far end of the carriage was now closer. Not walking. Just sitting in a different seat. 3 rows away. I was sure they hadn't moved past me. The train lights flickered once. And then the announcement system crackled. Next stop, home. The voice was distorted. Wrong. Like it had been stretched. The woman across from me stood up abruptly and moved to the door, pressing the emergency button. Nothing happened. I stood too. The train began slowing. But there was no station outside. Only darkness. The train stopped completely. The lights shut off. Total silence. Then, from the other end of the carriage, a dragging sound. Slow. Heavy. Moving toward us. The emergency doors suddenly unlocked with a sharp click. The woman ran out into the dark without hesitation. I followed. The ground beneath my feet wasn't concrete. It was gravel. We weren't at a platform. We were between stations. In the middle of nowhere. The train doors closed behind us immediately. The engine roared back to life. The train pulled away into the darkness. Through the window, for just a second, I saw inside the carriage. There were no seats. No passengers. Just a long, empty corridor. And something at the far end. Standing upright. Watching. The train disappeared around a bend. The woman who had run with me was gone. I was alone. My phone buzzed. Signal restored. Time, 2:17 a.m. A notification appeared from the transit app. Last train home, completed. I never found tracks nearby. I never found a station. But every night since then, at exactly 2:17 a.m., I hear it. Metal wheels turning. Somewhere far too close. I didn't move for a long time after the train disappeared. The gravel under my shoes felt real. The cold air felt real. But the silence was wrong. Too complete. No distant highway. No city hum. Just open darkness. I turned slowly in a circle. No lights. No buildings. No station signs. Only a faint indentation in the gravel where the train had stopped. My phone still showed signal. Full bars. I opened the map. It showed me standing at a station that didn't exist. The name on the screen read, Home Terminal. I had never seen that station on any transit line. I started walking along where I thought the tracks were. After a few steps, I realized something strange. There were no rails. No metal. No wooden sleepers. Just gravel laid in two long parallel strips. Like something heavy passed through regularly, but left no structure behind. My phone vibrated. Another notification. Next arrival, 2:17 a.m. I checked the time. 2:19. I laughed nervously. It had to be a glitch. A GPS error. A dream. Then I heard it. Far off in the distance. A low metallic rumble. Approaching. I started walking faster. Then jogging. I didn't know toward what or away from what. The darkness didn't change no matter how far I moved. The rumble grew louder. Closer. I looked back. Headlights appeared in the distance. Except they weren't headlights. They were too high. Too wide apart. And too still. They didn't sway like a train moving along tracks. They floated. The rumble vibrated through the ground. The train wasn't following rails. It was cutting straight through the gravel, leaving faint lines in its wake. My phone buzzed again. A message. No number attached. Just text. Missed your stop. The floating lights flickered once. Then the dragging sound started. Slow. Heavy. The same sound from inside the carriage. Moving closer. I ran. The ground shifted beneath me like loose sand. The lights accelerated without sound. Then suddenly, everything went black. No sky. No ground. No sound. I blinked. And I was back on the platform. Bright lights. Announcements clear and normal. People around me. Commuters talking. Scrolling on phones. The train doors open in front of me. A regular, crowded train. Someone bumped my shoulder. Are you getting on or not? I looked at the digital board above. Last train home, 2:17 a.m. I checked my phone. Time, 2:16. The doors began to close. And from inside the carriage, I saw it. At the far end. Between the passengers. Something standing perfectly still. Watching. Waiting. The doors shut. The train pulled away. And for a second, I heard it. Not the wheels. Not the engine. Breathing. Slow. Controlled. Right behind me.